Okay, let's go ahead and start now. I think I will just record this review session. If you need, you can go back and watch videos. I think that's all we are here for today. So let me start with number one, section 2.1. In number one, we are given a pair of points and we are asked to find the slope of line passing through the points. Okay, so our point is, so we have -2, 0 and 0, 5. So this is a pair of points and we are asked to find the slope. And we know how to find the slope. Our slope m is given by y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we have two different points. So let me call my first point to be x1, y1, and second point to be x2, y2. Now, if this is the case, what will be our x1? You are comparing here, okay? So you are comparing this point with this one. And if you compare, for your x1, we have -2. For your y1, we have 0. Our, excuse me, our x2 is 0 and y2 is 5. Now we substitute this number here in our formula. So our y2 is 5 minus our y1 is 0 divided by our x2 is 0 minus and our x1 is -2, and make sure you have this in the parentheses. Okay, so if you have minus, negative expression, negative terms, make sure you have that inside the parentheses. So this is 5 minus 0 is 5 divided by 0 minus time -2, that is +2. So this is the slope here. If you want in decimal, you can have that, or you can leave this in a fraction. Now, in this same question, let me add one more. So if you are asked to find the equation of line joining these 2 points, for example, -2, 0 is this point and 0, 5 is this point. And if you are asked to find the equation of this line joining these 2 points, how do we find the equation here? Now you always have two options, okay? Whenever you are looking for an equation of a line, you have the two options to use. One is slope intercept form, which is y equals to mx plus c. So this is the one option you can use to find the equation of a line. And the second option is slope point form, which is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. The first one is slope intercept form and the second one is point slope form. So these are the two options that you can use whenever you are asked to find the equation of line. Okay. Now, in order to use first, so what do we need? We need to know the slope of a line. And we already know the slope is 5/2. And the next, we also need to know C, or I think we have used B there, mx plus B. B is the y-intercept, right? Now, are we given y-intercept here? Can you tell me, do we have y-intercept given to us? What do you think? So we have 2 points here. So -2, 0 and 0, 5 are the 2 points. Do you think that we are given B? Now, what is y-intercept? How do we define the y-intercept? So y-intercept means these are the points at which the line touches the y-axis. And every point on the y-axis has x coordinate equals to 0. Now we have this point 0, 5, and this point has our x coordinate equals to 0. It means this point is on the y-axis. So this is our y-intercept. So we are given y-intercept. You can use this formula. Okay. Now, if we go to the next one, in order to use next formula, you must be given slope. And the next, you must have at least one point through which the line passes. Okay. We have a slope 5/2, and we do have a 1 point. So you can use any of these two in this case. Okay, but in order to use first one, make sure to have the y-intercept. If you have y-intercept, then only you can use this formula to find the equation of a line. And if you don't have y-intercept, you're gonna use this second option. Okay, now in our case, since we are given the y-intercept, you can use y-intercept. Okay, and you can also use this point slope form. Now using y-intercept form, and I'm gonna show you both of these. Okay, so our slope intercept form is y equals to mx plus b. Now we substitute our m is 5/2. We have x as it is plus, and our b is the y-intercept. So our b is the y coordinate, which is 5. So y equals to 5/2 times x plus 5. So this is the equation of line. So this is one way. And one more time, I'm telling you, you can use this formula only when you are given the y-intercept. Okay, now you can also use the second point slope form for this one. Okay, our formula is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Now let's substitute this. Y minus our y1 is 0 equals to our slope is 5/2 times x minus our x1 is -2. -2. Okay. So I have a, yes, there will be a formula sheet. Okay, you will be provided with this one, with slope intercept form, point slope form. So you are not required to memorize this thing, but you should know where to use and how to use. Okay. So let me, so here I substitute y1, m, and x1. Okay, now let's simplify. So y minus 0 is y equals to 5/2. We have x as it is, negative times -2, +2. Okay, now we can simplify. Y equals to, you distribute 5/2 for x as well as 2. So we have 5/2 times x plus 5/2 times 2. So our final answer is y equals to 5/2 x plus 5/2 times 2. These two cancel and we are left with 5. See, we get the same equation. It does not matter what equation you use here in this case. Okay, but make sure to choose the correct formula whenever you are asked to find the equation of a line. Okay. Now, do you have any question in this part? If you have any question, please let me know, okay? This is the only option you can ask me. You won't have an option to ask during your exam time. Okay, now let me go to number 3. Now in number 3, we have a fraction. So let me go ahead and do this number 3. So in number 3, we have 2/3, 1. So this is 1 point. Our second point is -1/2, 3. So let's say our first point is x1, y1. So let's call this is x1, y1. Let's call this is x2, y2. So our x1 is 2/3, y1 is 1, x2 is -1/2, y2 is 3. You are asked to find slope. So our slope m is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now we substitute. Our y2 is 3 minus y1 is 1 divided x2 is -1/2 minus x1 is 2/3. Now this is 3 minus 1 in the numerator is 2 divided by, now we have two fraction, difference of two fraction. And in order to find the difference of two fraction, we need a common denominator. Okay, so we have 2 denominator, 3 denominator. Now what would be the common denominator? What would be the common denominator for these two denominator? So your denominator is 2 and 3. So what would be the common? It would be 6, right? So now let's make denominator of each of fraction 6. So we have 2 already here and we want to make this 6. And for that we use 3. We multiply our numerator and denominator by 3 so that we have 6 in the denominator. For the next fraction, we have 3 as a denominator, and we want to make this 3 as a 6. So we choose 2 to multiply in the numerator and denominator. So we have -1 times 3, -3 divided by 6 minus 2 times 2, that is 4 divided by 3 times 2, 6. Now this is 2 divided by, now we have the common denominator. Now we can simplify our numerator, okay? So -3, -4, -7 divided by 6. So we are not done 8, okay? We have a complex fraction. So we have a fraction in the denominator, okay? And in order to simplify this, you're gonna write your numerator as it is. So 2 is the numerator. So you write 2 as it is. You multiply this numerator by the reciprocal of the denominator. Now, who can tell me the reciprocal of -7/6? Can anyone tell me the reciprocal of -7/6? What is the reciprocal of -7/6?
-7.
Okay, one more time, please.
-7.
No, so finding reciprocal means you are switching numerator to, you are taking numerator to denominator, and you are taking denominator to numerator. Okay, you are switching your numerator and denominator. That is the reciprocal. So you write your numerator as it is 2, and you multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator, and the reciprocal of -7/6 is 6/7. So this is a number multiplied by a fraction. So you multiply numerator together. So 2 times 6, that is 12, excuse me, divided by -7. And this is the slope for a line joining these 2 points. Excuse me. Does any one of you have a question here? Okay. Now let's go to number 5. Okay, now in number 5, okay, we need to find an equation of the line with the given properties. Okay, number 5, passing through the point 4, -1, and with a slope -2. So we need to find the equation of a line, okay? And this line passes through a point 4, -1. Let's say this point is 4, -1. And we also know the slope of this line. So we use m to represent slope, and this slope is equals to -2. And we are asked to find the equation of line. Now, as I said earlier, every time if you are asked to find the equation of line, you have these two options, using mx plus b, or using y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Now, who can tell me which option do we use here, first or second? What do you think? Which option is the best option for us?
The first.
Okay, now if you want to use first, so what are unknown? So slope is unknown, but we are given slope -2. Okay. The next unknown is b, which is the y-intercept. Now, do we have a y-intercept for this line? So it is not y-coordinate, okay? B is not the y-coordinate. B is the y-intercept.
So we don't have it because -1.
So it means you are not using option 1. So you're going to use option 2. Now let's check option 2. We are given slope, and we have x1, y1. So this is the 1 point, and we are given this 1 point. Okay, so let's call this 1 point as our x1, y1. Our x1 is 4, y1 is -1. Now you substitute everything in equation 2. So we have y minus y1 is -1. Make sure you insert parentheses, equals to m. Slope is -2 times x minus x1 is 4. So we have y negative times -1 +1 equals to, now you distribute -2. Make sure you distribute both of these terms. So we have negative 2 times x, negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 4, positive 8. Now, this is not enough. Now, if you read the instruction clearly, you are asked to express the equation of a line in the form y equals to mx plus b. Now, your answer has to be in this form. In this form means you have to solve this equation for y. Now, you have this equation and you are solving this equation for y. Okay, and that is our slope-intercept form. And in order to solve this equation for y, we need to get rid of this positive one. For that, we subtract 1 on both sides. So we have y positive 1, negative 1, 0 equals to negative 2x, positive 8, negative 1, positive 7. And this is the final answer. Make sure to read the instruction very carefully, okay? There are the question very similar to this one. You are given the pair of points and you are asked to find the equation of line and express the equation of line in a slope-intercept form. It means you have to express, you have to solve the equation of line for y. Okay, you must have this form to get the full credit. You do get the partial credit, but for full credit, make sure to read the instruction very carefully. Okay, this is all about number 5. And if you have any question, please let me know. Okay, so none of you have question. That's good. Now let's go to number 6. So in number 6, we need to find the equation of a line, which is a vertical line and passing through 5, 0. So we have a vertical line. Okay, so let me draw x-axis, y-axis. This is our x-axis, this is y-axis. And we have a vertical line, okay? And this line passes through 5, 0. And we are asked to find the equation of line. Now, how do we find the equation of every vertical line? So what would be the equation of this vertical line? Can anyone tell me? Can you guess the equation of this line? Now, every your vertical line has an equation of this type, x equals to a. Okay, so your a is the point at which vertical line crosses x-axis. Now, for this line, what is a? At what point this vertical line crosses x-axis? What is a? A is the 5, okay? So x equals to 5 is the equation of this line. So this is the equation of line. Okay, in the same thing, let me add, if you are asked to find the equation of a horizontal line. So if you are asked to find the equation of a horizontal line, for example, let's say you are asked to find the equation of this horizontal line, and this point is, sorry, 0, 3. And every horizontal line has a equation of this form, y equals to b, and b is the point where this horizontal line crosses y-axis. So at 3, so y equals to 3 is the equation of this line. Okay, so if you have a vertical line, every time this is the equation, and for a horizontal line, this is the equation. So this is about number 6. And if you have any question, please let me know. Okay, now let's go to the number 9. So we need to find the equation of an, okay, I think number 9, I think I can skip. So in number 9, so we need to find the equation of line passing through points -8, -3, and 12, -7. So you are asked to find the equation of line joining these 2 points. And that's what we did in number 1. So if we go back here, see, that's what we did in the number 1. So is it okay if I skip this number 9? Is it okay? Okay, I take that as a okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip number 9. Okay, and if you still have question or if you still need help with number 9, please let me know. Okay, so number 9. Now let's go to the next number. Number 12. Okay, in number 12. So we need to find the equation of a line, okay, which is perpendicular to -3x plus y equals to 4. Now let's say we want to find the equation of this line, okay, We need to find the equation of this line, and this line is perpendicular to, so this line, okay, and the equation of this line is given as negative 3x plus y equals to 4, okay. So we are trying to find the equation of this line 1. Let me call this line 1, and this line 1 is perpendicular to line 2, okay, and our line 1 also passes through a point 2, 0. So let's say this point is 2, 0. So we are asked to find equation of this line, okay, which is perpendicular to this line and passes through this point. Okay, so we are finding the equation of line 1. And as I said earlier, if you are finding the equation of line, you have the two options, y equals to mx plus c and y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Now, in order to, like, for both cases, we need to know slope of a line. So we need to know the slope of a line 1. Now, is that given to us? We don't know anything about the slope of line 1. Okay, we have a point on that line, 2, 0. So let's call this x1, y1. So we know what is x1, we know what is y1. So we have x1, we have y1, but we don't know about slope. Okay, so we need to find what is slope at first. But what do we know? Our line 1, this line and this line are perpendicular to each other. Now, what would happen to the slope of a line if they are perpendicular to each other? So if we have a two straight line and they are perpendicular to each other, now how their slopes are related to each other? Any guess? Okay, so for example, let me call a slope of a line 1 is m1 and a slope of line 2 is m2. How these m1 and m2 are related? We know the lines are perpendicular to each other. Now, how their slopes are related to each other? Now,
M1
if we have,
times M
yeah, go ahead.
equals -1.
What is equals -1?
M1 times M2.
That's right. So whenever you multiply their slope, we always end up getting -1. It means if you multiply m1, the slope of this line, and m2, you always get -1 if they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, that's the condition. If they are perpendicular to each other, then the slope of the lines, the product of slope of those lines is always equals to -1. Now, we have the equation of this, we know the equation of this line, which is -3x plus y equals to 4. Now, at first, we find the slope of this line, okay? And using this, we will find the slope of this line, okay? So let's find the slope of this line 2. So line 2 has equation -3x plus y equals to 4. And how do we find the slope of this line? We rewrite this line in a slope intercept form. It means we solve this equation for y. So you solve for y. In order to solve, you add 3x on both sides. Okay, every time if you are asked to find the slope of a line from the equation, you are solving for y. So this cancel, we have y equals to 3x plus 4. Now we compare this line with y equals mx plus b. Now if you compare, see, for m we have 3. So the slope of our line 2, we use m2. m2 is equals to 3. Okay, so this is the slope for our this line. Okay, now let's go back to this condition and we substitute m2. So we have m1 as it is. Okay, let me do here. M1 as it is, M2 is 3 equals to -1. Now we divide both sides by 3 since we need to know what is M1. So these 3 cancel. Our M1 is -1/3. Okay, so we know the slope of a line. So we know the slope of this line. So we know the slope, we have the point. So we use this formula. So we use y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. So we have y minus our y1 is 0 equals to m is -1/3. X minus x1 is 2. Okay. And y minus 0 is y equals to, now we distribute here 1/3 to each of these. So -1/3 times x, -1/3 x, -1/3 times -2. That is positive 1 times 2/3. And since this equation is already solved for y, so this is the final equation. And this type of question is very important. It means you're gonna have one question. It's guaranteed 100% similar to this one. Okay, the only difference is that you won't get exactly same equation. That's the difference. See, you won't have exactly same equation, you won't have exactly same point, but it's guaranteed that you will have very similar question. So make sure you know this problem. Okay, now does anyone have question for this problem? And you're gonna have this type of question on your exam too. Does anyone have question? Okay. Now let's go to the next one. So the next problem is we did, so this was 12, now number 14. So in number 14, so we need to find the equation of a line. So let's say we are trying to find this equation. Let me call, we are trying to find the equation of this line 1. Okay. We need to find the equation of line, and this line is parallel to another line. So we have this line parallel. So let me call this line 2, and we know the equation of this parallel line, -2x plus y equals to -1. Okay, and it also tells that our line 1 passes through a point 0,3. So we are finding the equation of a line 1, which is parallel to line 2 and passes through a point 0,3. Okay, and same concept, whenever you are finding the equation of line, you're going to use two options. You're going to choose one option out of those two. Okay, so that is y minus mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Now, which one do we use? And here, it doesn't matter whatever you use, you need to know the slope of a line. Now, are we given slope of this line? Do we have a slope? We don't have a slope. Okay, we only have a point that through which this line passes. So we don't have any idea of a slope here. But what do we know next? We know this line is parallel to this line. And if the lines are parallel to each other, how their slopes are related to each other? The slope are equals to each other. So if you call the slope of line 1 as a m1, and if you call slope of line m2, then excuse me, m1 is always equals to m2, only when the lines are parallel to each other. Okay, now if you can find the slope of this line, the same slope will be the slope of our line 1. Okay, excuse me. Now let's find the slope of line 2. So our line 2 is -2x plus y equals to -1. And in order to find the slope, we solve this equation for y. So you are adding 2x on both sides. So this cancel. We have y equals to 2x, sorry, -1. -1. Now you are comparing with y equal to mx plus b. For m, we have 2. So slope of line 2 is 2. Okay, since this line is parallel to this line, our m1 is also 2. So m1 is also 2. Okay, so you are using this slope and this point. Now, we need to find the equation now. To find the equation, we have y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Let's call this is x1, this is y1. Our x1 is 0, y1 is 3. So our y minus y1 is 3 equals to our m is 2 times x minus x1 is 0. So y minus 3 equals to 2x minus 0 is x. You are always solving for y for every equation of a line. So you add 3 on both sides. So we have y equals to 2x plus 3, and this is the final answer. Does anyone have question? Okay, good. Now let's see what we have next. Okay, the next one is number 16. So in the number 16, okay, in number 16, we have the equation 3x plus 4y plus 8 equals to 0. So this is the equation of a line, and we are asked to express this equation in this form, y equals to mx plus b, and graph. Now, so expressing in this form means you are solving for y. So we solve this equation for y. In order to solve for y, we get rid of 3x. So we subtract 3. 3x on the both side. We subtract 8 on the both side. This is gone, this is gone. So we have 4y equals to negative 3x, negative 8. You are solving for y. So your y has to be alone by itself. So to get rid of 4, we divide each term by 4. So this is cancelled. So we have y equals to negative 3 over 4x, negative 8 over 4, that is negative 2. And this is in the y equals to mx plus b form. Okay, so this is one part. And next part, you are asked to graph this line. Okay, and in order to graph, you can use slope and b. So your slope is negative 3 over 4. This is slope, and this is your b. You can graph this line using slope and b. Okay, so in order to graph, so you have your first point at b. Your b is at negative 2. So you have a 1 point at negative 2. So let's say this is negative 2, and we have 1 point at negative 2. Now our slope m is negative 3 over 4. What does this mean by having negative slope? Is the line rising or falling? If we have a slope of a line negative, yes, the line is falling. Okay, now how it falls? So as you go 4 unit right from this point, okay, so you are going 4 unit right and falling 3 unit down. So let's go 4 unit right. So let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So you, from this point, you go 4 unit right. 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit. Then since it's a negative, so you are falling, okay, falling down, and you are falling by 3 unit down. So you are falling 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit. So this is your next point. And you connect these 2 points, and that is the graph of this equation. See, that's it. You have the graph for this equation. So if you have a slope and y-intercept, you can always graph. And the other way is that you make a table. Okay, you make a table. So you choose your x, then you find y, and xy, it is a point. So at least you choose 1 point. Okay, let's say if your x is 0, so you substitute 0 here and find what is y. So -3/4 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 is -2. So 0 minus 2 is 1 point. Okay. Now, similarly, you choose one more point. So let me call x is 4. So if x is 4, -3/4 times 4 is -3. -3, -2 is -5. So 4, -5. And you plot these 2 points. So -2, 0 is here, and 4, -5 is here. You join the points, you get the graph. And you can graph in any way. You can use the slope and y-intercept if you know. If not, you can always draw this table and find at least 2 points. Okay, you need to have at least 2 points to draw a straight line. And this is all about this problem, and you will have pretty similar question on your exam too. Okay, does anyone have question in number 16? Okay, now let's go to the number 17. Okay, number 17. A commission salesperson's earnings can be determined by, so we have a earnings S, and this earning is 800 plus 2 times X. And this X is total amount of sales generated, okay, per week. So this equation give us the salesperson's earning, okay? And in this equation we have X, and X is the total amount of sales generated per week. This is how they defined X. And the question is, how much sales should be generated? Okay, so how much sales means, are we trying to find a yes or X? So our X is the total amount of sales, and we are asked to find how much sales. It means we are looking for X, okay? Should be, so how much sales should be generated in order to earn a salary of $1,500. So in order to make an earning of $1,500, how much should be the sales? So our X represents the total amount of sales, S represents the earnings. So our S is given as $1,500, and we are asked to find X. So we have 800 plus 2X. So you are solving this equation for X. So you subtract 800 on a both side. This is 0. So 1,500 minus 800 is 700 equals to 2X. You divide both sides by 2. So we have 350 equals to X. So the sales portion must have 350 cells, okay, in order to make these earnings. And this is your final answer, 350.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where did you get the 2x from? Because it's 0.1x.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes, it's okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not 2X. Thank you. But yeah, so here everything remains same. So you're gonna have 0.1 instead of 2, okay? So you are dividing by a 0.1 and you have something different answer. So you have 0.1. So to get rid of 0.1, you are dividing by 0.1, and it should be 7,000. So X is 7,000. Okay, thank you. Does anyone have question here? Okay. Now let's go to the next one, and the next one is number 18. Now in number 18, so the number of gift boxed pens sold per year since 2012 by the pen and quill shop is given by, so the number of gift boxed pens, so H is given by 400 plus 80T, okay? T is the number of year. So T is the number of years since 2012. Okay. And this H represent the number of gift box pen sold. Okay. So the number of, let me just write down pens sold. So this is what is given to us. Now, the very first question is how many gift box pens were sold in 2015? So how many box pens were sold? It means, are we looking for T or H? So our H represents the number of pens sold. T represents the number of years since 2012. And in number A, you are asked to find how many gift boxed pens were sold in 2015. In this case, are we asked to find H or T?
H.
Yes, so we are looking for H. Okay, so let me write the equation. Now, if you need to find H, you need to know the T. Now, what is T? Our T is the number of years since 2012. Okay, so that's how they define T. Now, we need to know the number of pens sold in 2015. Now, what will be T for 2015?
3.
That's right. So T is 3. Now, you substitute 3 and you have your answer. So we have 400 plus 80 times 3. 400 plus 80 times 3, 240. And this is 640. So the number of box sold, sorry, pens sold in 2015 is 640. Number B, what is the value of H? So it's very clear. We need to know what is H when T is 0. When T is 0. So you substitute T equals to 0. So we have H equals to 400 plus 80T. And they want us to substitute T equals to 0. So we have 400 plus 80 times 0 is 0. So we have 400. Now, what does it represent? Now, what is this 400? H is the number of pens sold. And what does it mean by T equals to 0? What year is that when T is equals to 0?
The same year we're in.
So it is
2012.
2012, right? So this 400 is the total number of gift boxed pens sold in 2012. Okay, it's number of gift box pen sold in 2012. Okay, now in part C, when will 1120 gift box pens be sold? So when means time, so we need to know time, and we have 1120, which is H. So our H is given as 1120. So you are asked to find time. Use the same equation. Our equation is H is equals to 400 plus 80T. Our H is 1120 equals to 400 plus 80. T is unknown. This is what we are trying to find. So it means you are solving this equation for T. So you subtract 400 on a both side. So we have 0 to 720 equals to 80T. Now to get rid of 80, you divide both sides by 80. So this cancels. So 80 times 9 should be 970. Yeah, 720. So our 9, so T is the 9. Now, what does it mean by T equals to 9? What year is this? So your T is 9, but you need to find when. When means you need to know what year. Now, what year is, for what year our T is 9?
Would it be 2012 plus 9?
That's right, 2012 plus 9, and which is 2021. So this is our final answer. So in 2021, 1120 box pens will be sold. Yeah, it does. 2021, so it's gone. So was solved. Okay, does anyone have question? And you will have very similar question. So out of 17 and 18, you're gonna have one pretty similar question. Okay, make sure you understand these two. And if you have any question, please let me know. If not, we are done with section 2.1. Okay. Do you feel that I started the review session kind of late? I think was the 8 p.m. good? Or 9 is okay. I thought I had like more students in our exam 1 review session. So now today we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students, but it's okay. I'm just recording this one, okay? So I hope the remaining will watch this review session. So for exam 3, like if I have a review session, do you prefer 8 or 9?
8.
8. Okay, 8
I'm always
from,
at work, so it doesn't matter.
okay, doesn't matter.
Always at work.
Okay. All right, so I'll try my best to do at 8 p.m. so that we can have more students and more interaction. Okay, now let's go back. So we are in section 2.2 and we are at number 21. Okay, so this is section 2.2 and we are solving number 21. We are asked to find the distance between the 2 points and midpoint of the line segment. I'm pretty sure I can skip this one. So we have this point 6, 9, 11, 13. Okay. So and you are asked to find the distance between these 2 points. So we need to know what is the distance of these 2 points and the midpoint of this line segment. And we need to find this one. So how do we find the distance? What is the distance formula? Our distance formula is x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Now let's call this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. Your x1 is 6, y1 is 9, x2 is 11, y2 is 13. Now you substitute here. So you have a square root as it is. X2 is 11 minus x1 is 6, parenthesis square, plus y2 is 13 minus y1 is 9 square. Now we simplify this. So 11 minus 6, that is 5 square, plus 13 minus 9, 1, 3, that's 4 square. And this is 5 square, that is 25, 4 square, 16. And this is 25 plus 16, that is, what is this? That's 31, this should be 41. And this is your distance. Okay, does anyone have question here? Okay, now let's find the midpoint. Our midpoint M is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now you substitute. Your x1 is 6 plus x2 is 11 divided by 2, y1 is 9 and y2 is 13. 9 plus 13 divided by 2. Simplify. 6 plus 11, 17 divided by 2. 9 plus 13, that's 22. 22 divided by 2, that is 11. And this is the final answer for midpoint. This one should be the easiest one, and you will have one very similar question. Okay, you will be asked to find the distance between 2 points and a midpoint. Okay. Okay, let me know if you have any question for this number 21. So next one is 23. Okay, so you don't have question means I can go to number 23. It's 23. In 23, we are asked to write the standard form of the equation of the circle. Okay, so standard form of the equation of circle means we are writing our equation in this form: x minus h square plus y minus k square equals to r square. This is the standard form. Okay, standard form of the equation of a circle. Now, who can tell me what is hk? for a circle. So if you have a hk, what does this represent in a circle? This is the, what is hk? What does hk represent for circle? Any guess?
HK is the position, the coordinate, the center of the circle where it is on the
That's
coordinate.
right. Yes. So this is the center of the circle. Okay, so this is center. And r is the radius. You all know this one. Okay, now let me go back to number 23. So in 23, our r is given as 6. Center is given as -1, 2. Okay, center means hk. So this is h, this is k. So your h is -1, k is 2. And you are asked to write the standard form. It means you are substituting here. So your standard form is x minus h square plus y minus k square equals to r square. Now you substitute your h, x as it is. You are not substituting for x. Okay, your center is -1, 2. Your center is hk. We always use hk to represent the coordinate of a center of a circle. So your h is -1. So we have this negative as it is, and our h is -1. So we have -1 inside parentheses, parentheses close, and this is square, plus y minus k, k is 2, square equals to r. Our r is 6, and we have a square, square as it is. So you substitute h, k, and r. Okay, now let's simplify. We can simplify one more time, one more step. So we have x, negative times -1, +1 square, plus y minus 2 square, 6 square, 36. This is the standard form. This is the standard form. Now, the circle equation can also have a general form. Okay, so this is, if you have the equation of a circle in this form, it is the standard form. Okay, now you might be also asked to find the equation of a circle in a general form. Okay, finding a general form means you are simplifying this. So you are simplifying this square, you are getting rid of this square. Okay, you're gonna simplify more. That is in a general form. Now let me write this equation one more time. X plus 1 square plus y minus 2 square equals to 36. So we're gonna simplify it more, and that is our general form. Okay, now what is x plus 1 square? Do you all agree that x plus 1 square is x square plus 1 square, and our y minus 2 square is y square minus 2 square is 4? How many of you agree here? What do you think? Did I do correct here? So is our x plus 1, the whole square is x square plus 1 square, and y minus 2 square is y square minus 4. Do you agree? Do I have anyone who doesn't agree here? And this is not correct, okay? This is incorrect. So this is not how we simplify. Now, so we have x plus 1 square means this is same as x plus 1 times x plus 1. So you are multiplying x plus 1 2 times. Similarly, y minus 2 square means y minus 2 times y minus 2 equals to 36. Now we use FOIL. Let's multiply first term. X times x, x square. In outside term, x times +1, positive x. Inside term, +1 times x, positive x. Last term, +1 times +1, positive 1, plus use the FOIL. So y times y, y square, y times -2, -2y, -2 times y, -2y, -2 times -2, +4 equals to 36. Now we look for the like terms. So these two are like terms, x square plus 2x. Okay, so 1 and 4 are like terms. So +5 plus y square these two are like terms. Negative 4y equals to 36. And our 5 and 36 are like terms. So let's take 5 to the other side. It means let's subtract 5 on both sides. So we have x squared plus 2x plus y squared minus 4y equals to 36 minus 531. And this is the general form. This is the general form. And you will be asked to write the standard form as well as general form on your exam too. So make sure to read the instruction. Okay, I have tried and have a bold on those things, okay, for the keywords. So make sure you read instruction. Okay, so if you write your equation in this form, this is the standard. If you simplify the standard form, you get the general form. Now, does any one of you have a question here? Okay, that's good. Now let's go to the next one. So next is, so this is our 23, right? Okay, let me double check. Yes. So we did 23. Now we are at 25. Okay, I'm gonna skip 25. Is it okay if I skip 25? It's the same. The only difference is that your radius is 1/2 instead of 6, and your center is 0, -1 instead of -1, 2. Everything is same. Is it okay if I skip 25? Can I get yes, or do you want me to solve it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. And if you still need help, yeah, just let me know. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to skip 25. Okay, now let's go 27. Okay, and I'm going to do both 27 and 29 here. So in 27, so here we are asked to find the center and a radius of the equation given to us. So our equation is x minus 3 square plus y minus 2 square equals to 1/4. Now, by looking at this equation, what do you think? Is it in the standard form or a general form? Does this equation of a circle?
Standard.
That's right. So since it's in a standard form, now we compare this equation in a standard form. So our standard form is x minus 8 square plus y minus k square equals to r square. Okay. Now let's compare these two. For x, we have x. Okay, our target is finding center. Finding center means we need to know what is hk and we need to know r. So this is asked to us. Okay, and for that you compare your given standard form with this standard form. So for x we have x, for negative we have negative. For h, what do we have? 3. So your h is 3. For square you have square. For positive you have positive. For y you have y. For negative you have negative. For k you have 2. So your k is 2. For square you have square. So this is your center. Now we need to find the radius. Now, do you agree our r is, for r we have 1/4? Is our radius 1/4 or we have to rewrite this?
Isn't it 1/4 squared?
No,
If
we don't
it's-
have that square. We are given with 1/4. So we don't have this square. Okay, it means we need to rewrite 1/4 with this square here. Now, how can we rewrite 1/4 as a square? Square of what number is 1/4? Now, square of 1. So can I rewrite 1 as a 1 square? It's same thing, right? And 4 as a 2 square. And I can rewrite this as a 1/2 square. So 1/4 is same as 1/2 whole square. Now we can compare here. See, for square, we have square. And for r, we have 1/2. And your radius is 1/2. And this is the final answer. Okay, so if you have the equation of a circle in a standard form, you compare it, okay, and you look for hk, And make sure you must have everything, okay? See, for the square, so for h, we have 3. For negative, we have negative. For x, we have x. And you are looking for what number do you have for h? 3. So for y, we have y. For negative, we have negative. For k, we have positive 2. So we have 2 here. Now here, we don't have that square. So we are rewriting 1/4 with the square. Okay, so for a square, we have a square. And for r, we have 1/2, and which is the radius. So this is for number 27. And if you have any question, please let me know.
And you said the negative doesn't matter, even though it's negative h, you just write a positive.
Okay, now here's the thing. Now let me do for example, if you had something like x plus 3 square plus y plus 2 square equals to 25. Now, in this case, let's compare x minus h square plus y minus k square equals to r square. You are comparing with this one. Now let's compare. For x, you have x, but for minus, you have positive. So that's not helping. You need to have exactly same thing. So you need to rewrite this positive 3 with a negative sign. And how can we rewrite that? So how can we rewrite positive 3 with a negative sign? Can
You
anyone help me here?
Subtract 6? No.
No, you are not subtracting. You can't do that.
X minus negative 3.
That's right. So we're going to do here. So positive, so we have x as it is, and positive 3 is same as negative times negative 3. Isn't this same thing? So we have a positive, and for positive, we have negative times negative 3, which is same as positive 3. Now, if you compare this expression and this, for x, we have x. Now, for negative, we have negative. What do we have for h? Negative 3. So your h is negative 3. So hk. So your h is negative 3. Now, similarly, for positive, we have positive. For y, we have y. Now, we need to have negative, but we don't have negative. We have positive here. So you need to rewrite this positive 2. And for that, we rewrite positive 2 as a negative times negative 2. And we have a square. So for y, we have y. For negative, we have negative. And for k, we have negative 2. So your k is negative 2. Okay, we have 25. We need to rewrite this 25 as a perfect square, which is 5 square. For square, we have square, and for r, we have 5. So your r is 5. If you have a positive, your hk gonna be negative. If you have a negative here, your h and k gonna be positive. See, we have negative here, we have positive h. You have negative here, we have positive 2 here. But whenever you have positive, you're going to get negative. Whenever you have positive, you're going to get negative. This is the another way, like, so you can just make it easier. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Now, one more. And this is also important. You're going to have this type also. So we have this x squared plus y squared negative 2x positive 2y negative 7 equals to 0. Now, what type of, is this in the standard form or in a general form?
General.
Yes, so this is in the general form, and we are asked to find the center. It means we need to find hk and we need to find radius. And if you have in a general form, you have to rewrite this equation in a standard form. That's what we need to do. So rewrite in standard form. Okay, and once you have the standard form, we do the similar thing. We compare with our formula. Again, find our hk. Okay, now in order to rewrite in a standard form, so let me rewrite this. The very first step is that you collect the term with the same variable together. So we have x squared and negative 2x. They have the same variable. So we are writing these two together. And we have y squared and positive 2y they have a same variable, so we are writing these two together. So we have x square positive 2x together and y square positive 2y together minus 7 equals to 0. So this is the very first step. You are rewriting or you are collecting the terms with the same variable together. Okay. Next step, you take the coefficient of x, so which is 2, you divide by 2, we get 1, you square it. Okay, and you are adding and subtracting this number on the same side. So you are adding 1 square and subtracting together. Okay, and you do the same thing for coefficient of y. You take the coefficient of y, which is 2, you divide by 2, we get 1, we square it, you add 1 square and subtract 1 square. This is the most important step here. You take the coefficient of x, which is 2. Okay, every time you divide by 2, we get 1 here, you square it. And you're gonna add and subtract. You're gonna add and subtract the same number that you get from here. For the y also, you take the coefficient of y, which is 2. Divide by 2, we get 1. Square it, we have 1 square. And you are adding and subtracting the same number. Okay, now let me rewrite this equation one more time. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 1 square minus 1 square excuse me, plus y square plus 2y plus 1 square minus 1 square minus 7 equals to 0. Now, does anyone have question here in this step? So you're gonna take coefficient of x, which is 2, divide by 2, square it, add and subtract in the same side this number. That's what I did here. And for the y, it's the same thing. You take the coefficient of y, divide by 2, square it, and you are adding and subtracting in the same side. Okay, does anyone have question? Good. Now, these 3 terms, and we rewrite these 3 terms and these 3 terms as a perfect square of a binomial. For that, we take x from here. We have 1 from here. Okay, you are ignoring square. And we take the sign of middle term is positive. So you're going to write positive and whole square. Okay, these first 3 terms. Make sure you are adding first. Okay, you can't use this expression. You have to use the you have to add at first and subtract. And you do this, and so we have this negative as it is. 1 square is 1 plus. You take the y. You take the 1. Make sure you are taking this positive number. And you take the sign of middle term. It is negative. And square. Negative. 1 square is 1 minus 7 equals to 0. Now we look for the like term. So -1, -1, -7, these are like terms. And we can take all these numbers to the other side. So we have x plus 1 square plus y minus, sorry, this is not y minus. We have positive here. It means you are using the same sign. So it should be positive. Okay, it should be positive here. So we have y plus 1 square equals to, so if we take all these number on the right side, we have 7, 8, 9. Any question here? Okay. Now, so we can write 9 as a 3 square. Okay, now this is in the standard form. See, this is in the standard form. Now we compare with our formula, which is x minus 8 square plus y minus k square equals to r square. For x, we have x. For minus, we have positive. So we need to rewrite +1 as a negative times -1. So our for h, we have -1. Okay. So our h is -1. So let me just write hk. H is -1. Our k, for positive, we have positive. For y, we have y. Now for negative, we have positive. So we need to rewrite. So rewriting means +1 is same as negative times -1. So for negative, we have negative. For k, we have -1. So our k is -1 equals to, for square, we have square. For r, we have 3. And our radius is 3. Radius r is 3. And you must know, you must practice this one. Okay, you will have one very similar to this one. You will be given a general equation and you will be asked to find the center and radius. You will be given a standard form and you will be asked to find the radius and center of a circle. Okay, so make sure to practice this type of problem. Okay, do you have any question here? Okay, good. Now, yeah, so we are done with this section 2.2. Now let me go to next section. So in chapter, so from chapter 5, so we have the system of equation. Okay, and in chapter 5, in section 5.2, okay, so 5.1 we have the system of equation and system of inequality. In section 5.2 we have a system of equation with the 3 different equations. Okay, so here so we have 1, 3, 9, 15. So I want you to practice. Okay, so 1, 3, 9, 15. Okay, these 4 girls. Then 20, 23. Let me see what we have. 20. Okay, 20, 23. That's good. And 24. 24. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we have 1, 3. So out of 1, 3, let me pick one. Okay, so I will solve one system of equation and I want you to solve another. Okay, I want you to practice the another. Okay, 1 and 3. So which one do you want me to solve out of 1 and 3? This is section 5.1. Do you want to pick one for me or you want me to pick 1 and 3? Okay, I will pick 1. So we have -x, -y equals to -7. We have 3x plus 4y equals to 24. And we are asked to solve this system of equation by elimination method. Okay. Now, in order to use or in order to solve the system of an equation using an elimination method, you have to eliminate. That's the very straightforward. You have to eliminate one variable. Okay, so we have 2 different variables. So we have our variable x, y in both equation. Okay, now out of these 2 variables, you need to eliminate one. Okay, now how can we eliminate? You have the option of adding these 2 equations. So you can add equation 1, equation 2 to eliminate, or you can subtract. Okay, so by adding equation 1 and 2 or by subtracting equation 1 and 2, you can eliminate one variable. Okay, now if you add these 2 equations, do you think that you will be able to eliminate one variable? And it does not matter what variable you eliminate. Okay, you can eliminate x, you can eliminate y, it does not matter. Now if we add these 2 equations, do you think we will be able to eliminate any one variable? So adding means you are adding negative, you are adding negative x and positive 3x. So if you add a negative x and positive 3x, we have positive 2x. And you are adding negative y, positive 4y, we have positive 3y. So we still have x and y. That's not what we want. So we want to eliminate one variable, okay? Now, in order to eliminate, what we need to have is that we need to have one variable, at least one variable, with the same coefficient, with the opposite sign. Now, this x has a coefficient -1. So we want to have at least one, we want at least one variable with the same coefficient with opposite sign. So this x has a -1 as a coefficient. This x has a positive 3 as a coefficient. That's not what we want. Y has a coefficient -1 and this y has a coefficient 4. That's not what we want. We want at least one variable to have same coefficient with opposite sign. Now, how can we make this x to have a -3 as a coefficient? We have positive 3 here. So if we can have a -3 here, we can eliminate x. Now, how can we have coefficient of this x as a -3? What do we need to do? Do we multiply, divide, add, subtract? What do you think?
Multiply by 3.
That's right. And whenever you are multiplying every term, okay? Make sure you are multiplying every term of this equation. So you are multiplying equation 1 by 3. So once you multiply, so 3 times -x, -3x, 3 times -y, -3y, 3 times -27, that is -21. So make sure you are multiplying everything on a both side. Our equation 2 is 3x plus 4y equals to 24. Now let's add these two equations. And if you add, our x is eliminated, x is gone. Now we have -3y plus 4y, which is y equals to -21 plus 24, that is 3. So our y is 3, that's what we know. Now we need to know what is x. And in order to find what is x, you can substitute y equals to 3 in equation 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. Now let me use equation 1. So we have -x, -y equals to -7. So you substitute 3 for y. So we have -x, negative as it is, y is 3 equals to -7. You are solving this equation for x. So you add 3 on both sides. -x equals to, this is gone, -7, +3, -4. You need to get rid of negative. So divide by -1. Negative gone. We have x equals to -4 divided by 1, which is +4. And your solution, you are writing your x value and your y value together inside the parentheses separated by comma. And this is the solution for this system of equation using elimination method. Do you have a question? Okay, I want you to practice number 3. Okay, so I will leave this for you. And if you still need help, just let me know, please. So the next one is number 9 and 15. So out of 9 and 15, okay, so let me do number 9. That's the only one. Okay, so in number 9, so we have x less than equals to 8, 2x minus y greater than equals to 6. This is a system of linear inequalities, and we need to graph here. We need to graph the solution of this in system. Okay, now in order to graph, so we have to graph each of these inequality one by one. So let me start with first inequality, x less than equals to 8. Okay, and the very first step is that you replace your inequality by equals to sign. So we have x equals to 8. Now, so okay, just let me write that. You replace inequality, whatever inequality sign you have, by equals to sign. Okay, now once you replace your inequality by equals to sign, we have the equation here. So we have x equals to 8. Let's graph this equation. And who can tell me what kind of graph do we get for this equation? Can anyone tell me here? So we have x equals to 8. And what kind of graph do we have for x equals to 8? We had this, we did this like in section, I think 2.1, very similar. So if we have any equation of the type x equals to some number, we have 8. What would be the graph for this kind of equation? Is it a horizontal line or a vertical line? It's
Vertical.
yes, vertical line. Okay, so we draw a vertical line at 8. For example, this point is 8. And you draw a vertical line. Now, before you draw a vertical line here, you need to check here. Now, if you have a equals to sign, like if you have greater than equals to or less than equals to, you're gonna use a solid line to draw. Okay, so to draw a graph, you're gonna use a solid line. Your graph must have a solid line. Excuse me. But if you have strictly less than, strictly greater than, then you're gonna use a dotted line or like a broken line. Okay, you have to find the difference here. Broken line, okay, or dotted line. Now, in our inequality have equals to sign, so we're gonna use a solid line. Okay, to draw a straight line at -8. But if you have strictly less than, you're gonna use like broken dotted line. Okay, if you have a equals to, you're gonna use a solid line. Keep in mind. Okay, that's the line. Now we are not done it. Now the next step is that we choose any point, okay, away from the line. You can choose on the left of line, on the right of line, but you can't choose point on the line. Okay, now can you choose any point on the left or on the right? Can you give me any point on the left of a line or a right of a line? Any point, but make sure that point should not be on the line. Okay, what point do you want to choose? Choose a point. You can choose any, just give me a coordinate of any point on the right, in the left, or on the right.
Do origin.
Okay, yeah, that's the easy. Yeah, I'm like, if your line does not passes through origin, you can always choose origin. Okay, so let's choose this point. Now, so we are choosing 0, 0. Now, once you choose any point, make sure that point should not be on line. Okay, you have to check whether this point is a solution for this inequality or not. And checking means you substitute x equals to 0, y equals to 0. We don't have y here, so we have x is 0 less than 8. Now, since 0 is not equals to 8, so I didn't write equals to here. Okay, now is 0 less than 8? Is it true or false? It's true, right? And if it's true means, if you get true means your solution is on the towards the point, so towards this testing point. So our testing point is here, so the solution is every point towards the testing point. So whatever points we have here, so this is a solution for our FOSS inequality. Okay, so all these points are the solution towards the testing point. If it's true, the solution is towards the testing point. If it's false, your solution is away from the testing point. Okay, so all these points are the solution for FOSS inequality. Now we do the similar thing for our second inequality. We are not done it here. So our second inequality is 2x minus y. 2x minus y greater than equals to 6. So first step, you replace this inequality by equals to 2x minus y equals to 6. Now we draw a graph for this equation. To draw a graph, we need a points. So we have x and we find y and we get xy. Now you can choose any number for x. Okay, it really doesn't matter. Now I want to choose 0 for x. Okay, so if your x is 0, what will be your y? If you substitute x equals to 0, 2 times 0, 0, 0 minus y is minus y equals to 6. So we get -6. So we have 0, -6. We need one more point. Now let me choose y to be 0. So if this y is 0, what will be 2x? So we have 2x minus 0 is 2x. 2x equals to 6, and our x is equals to 3. So we have 3, 0. So these are the 2 points. Now we look for this. So 3, 0. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3. So this is 3, 0. And 0, -6. So let's say -6 is here. So 0, -6 here. Now, before you join these two dots, you need to check what kind of line you're gonna draw. Are you drawing solid line or dotted line? For that, you're gonna check what kind of inequality you have. In the inequality, you have a equals to sign. So you're gonna use a solid line. So you draw the solid line, connects these 2 points, you get a straight line. Okay. The next step, you're gonna choose a point. Now, can you choose a point for this? What point do you want to choose? And you can still choose the origin, okay? Because this origin is not on the line. So let's choose 0, 0. You check whether 0, 0 is a solution for this inequality or not. So our inequality is 2x minus y greater than equals to 0. So you substitute 0 for x, 0 for y. 2 times 0 minus 0 greater than equals to 6. 2 minus 0, that is 2 greater than 6. Now, is it true or false? It's false, right? 2 is not greater than 6. False means your solution is away from the testing point. Excuse me. This is your testing point. So your solution is away from the testing point. So you are setting away from the testing point. So all these are the solution for this inequality. Okay. So all these points. Now, do you see a common solution? Do you see a region which is common for both inequality? You see this green color? This is the solution for this inequality. That's what we want. And this is our final answer. Again, you will have this inequality. Okay, I mean, like you will have a system of inequality and you will be asked to solve or find the solution using a graph. And that's how we do. This is how we do here. You need to graph. Okay, you have to show the solution graphically. So make sure you keep this in mind. So if you have less than equals to, greater than equals to, you're going to use a solid line to draw a straight line. If you have a strictly less than, strictly greater than, then you're going to use a dotted broken line. Okay. And once you draw a graph, you always need to choose any point and make sure to choose a point which is not on the line. Okay. Your testing point, you can, it's not that you always need to choose 0, 0. You can choose any point, but your point should not be on the line. That's the main here. Okay. And once you choose the point, if it's true, you're gonna set towards the points. If it's false, you are setting away from the testing point. Okay. Yeah, this is all about solving the system of linear inequality. Now, do you have a question here? And it's really important you are getting one system of linear inequality on your exam too. Does anyone have question? Make sure to practice this. Okay, looks like no one has question for. Okay, now I will go to just one. So we have 15, 23, 24. And so out of these, like out of all these 15, 20, 23, and 4, so all these are a system of linear equation with a 3 variable, okay? And I will be solving one out of all of these 3. So 20, 23, 24, and we have number 15. Okay, do you want to pick one for me? So out of 15, 20, 23, 24, which number do you want?
23.
23. Okay, let's go to number 23. So in 23, we have x plus 2y plus z equals to -3. So let me call this is my equation 1. So we have 3x plus y minus 2z equals to 2. Let me call this is equation 2. I have 4x plus 3y minus z equals to 0. So these are the three equations, and we need to solve this equation. Solving means we need to find the value of x, y, and z. And we are using the elimination method. Okay, it's very similar to the one that we did earlier. Now, the very first step here is that you're gonna choose any two equation out of three, okay, and try to eliminate one variable. Okay, you can eliminate any variable, x, y, z, does not matter. Now, the option is that you are adding the equation or you are subtracting the equation to eliminate the variable. Okay, now what do you think, like which equation, like by adding which two equation we can eliminate at least one variable? Can you just make an observation here, like by adding two equation and we want one variable to be gone, which will be those two equation? And how do we know that, like in order to eliminate, if you have a variable with the same coefficient, okay, or with opposite sign, like if the coefficient is opposite with the same number, then that's what we're gonna eliminate. Now, do we have here similar to that?
Z,
Can you repeat that?
Z,
Yeah, G. Now, which equation are we adding here to eliminate G?
the first and the third.
That's right. See, like in the first, we have a positive z, and in the 3, we have a negative z. And if we add equation 1 and 3, this z is gone. That's what we want. So always try to eliminate one variable. It does not matter what variable you eliminate. So let me write these two equations together. So we have x plus 2y plus z equals to -3. We have 4x plus 3y minus z equals to 0. So you are adding, okay, this is gone. X plus 4x, 5x, 2y plus 3y, 5y equals to -3 plus 0, -3. And let me call this is my equation 4. Okay. Now, so at first you can eliminate any one variable, okay, x, y, z, doesn't matter. Now, in the second step, you have to eliminate the same variable that you eliminated earlier. Now, by adding 1 and 3, we eliminated g variable. Now your target should be eliminating the same g variable by adding other two equation. Okay, you are not adding same equation 1 and 3 and eliminating. No. Okay, you have the option to add 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, but you have to eliminate same g variable. Okay, now you can choose 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. It does not matter. Okay, so let me choose 1 and 2 equation. So let me write down that. So 1 is x plus 2y plus z equals to -3. And equation 2 is 3x plus y, 3x plus y minus 2z equals to 2. So this is my equation 1 and this is my equation 2. Now, how can we eliminate g here? Like, what do we need to do? Is it enough if we add these two equations? Can we eliminate g simply by adding equation 1 and 2? Now, let's see. If you add g and -2z, you're gonna get -g. That's not what we want. We want to get rid of this g, okay? Now, their coefficient is not same, so it has a coefficient -2, it has a +1. And we need to have a coefficient with the opposite sign. Now, how do we make that? So what do you
Multiply
do?
by 2
That's right. For which equation? 1 or 2?
or 1.
That's right. Thank you. So you multiply equation 1 by positive 2. So if you multiply, we're gonna have, let me write down here, 2 times x 2x, 2 times 2y, positive 2y 4y, 2 times positive z 2z, and equals to negative 3. And equation 2 as it is, 3x plus y minus 2z equals to 2. Now you are adding, z is gone. 2x plus 3x, 5x. 4y plus y, 5y. Equals to negative 3 plus 2, negative 1. Let me call this is my equation 5. Now, so you're gonna solve equation 4 and 5. And equation 4 is 5x plus 5y equals to negative 3. Okay, so this is our equation 4. Now you are using equation 4 and 5 and solving x and y. Okay, and you're going to use the elimination. Now, by adding 5 and 4 or by subtracting 5 and 4, your target is eliminating one variable, x or y, it doesn't matter. Now, do we add here or do we subtract? If you want to eliminate x or y, do we add or subtract? How can we eliminate our x variable or y variable? Now, if you add, you have 5x plus 5x, it gives 10x plus 5y plus 5y, you get 10y. So that's not helping us. We want to get rid of it. So adding is not helping. So we're going to subtract. And whenever you subtract, okay, here is the thing. You have to change the sign of each term, okay, of the second equation. So this positive 5x is positive. So you change this into negative. 5y is positive, you are making it negative. Negative 3 is, so 3 is negative, so you are making it positive. And this is the case when you subtract. Okay, so we subtract. So every time if you are subtracting, you're gonna flip the sign of second equation. Whenever you are adding, you are not required to do this one. Now, so 5x, now once you flip the sign, you're gonna use this new sign. Okay, forget about this original sign. You're gonna use this new sign. So positive 5x minus 5x 0, positive 5y minus 5y 0. So we have 0 on the left, equals to negative 1 plus 3, that is positive 2. Now what do you say about this? 0 equals to 2. Is it true? Is 0 equals to 2 is equals to 2? No, right? This is not true. It means this is false. It means we don't have a solution here. Okay, there's nothing here. We don't have 0 is never equals to 2. So we're gonna have no solution. That's the answer. It does not have a solution. But it's not that you always get no solution. You might get a solution. Okay, so let me do one that has a solution. Okay, so that if 15, I think, okay. Maybe like 20 has a, so let's be hopeful 20 has a solution. Okay. Or do you want to try yourself? Do you want me to do number 20? Or you want to try yourself? So it's not that it's not true that you always end up with no solution. Okay, you will get some values for x, y, and z. So do you want me to do number 20?
Can you do 24, please?
Okay, let's do 24 now. Let's see what it looks like. So 24 is x plus y minus z equals to 0. 3x plus 2y. 3x plus 2y minus z equals to negative 1. So let me call this is 1. Let me call this is 2. Negative 2x plus y minus 2z equals to -1. Let me call this is 3. Now we need to eliminate one variable by adding any two equation. And at first it does not matter what variable do you eliminate, okay? So let me take 1 and 2. So our 1 is x plus y minus z equals to 0. And 2 is 3x plus 2y minus z is equals to -1. Now, do we add here or subtract? If you add, none of the variable is eliminated. But if you subtract, the sign of the second equation changes. So this is 3x change to -3x, positive 2y change to -2y, negative g change to positive g, and we can eliminate g. So negative g, positive g, this is gone. So we have x minus 3x minus 2x, y minus 2y minus y equals to, sorry, yeah, we need to change the sign of -1 too. So you change into positive, sorry. So you have to change the sign of every term if you are subtracting only. So we have +1 plus 0, 1. So let me call this equation 4. Now, let me take other two equation and eliminate the same g variable. So I had 1 and 2. So let me take 1 and 3. And you can take 2 and 3, does not matter. Okay, so 1 is x plus y minus z equals to 0. 3 is minus 2x plus y minus 2z equals to -1. You already eliminated g. Now you should eliminate g. You can't eliminate x and y. Okay, so you have to eliminate g. In order to eliminate this g, we have -2 here. So we want +2 as a coefficient of g. And for that, we multiply by -2. So once you multiply by -2, let me write down here, -2 times x, -2x, -2 times positive y, -2y, -2 times -g, +2z equals to 0. And our next equation is -2x positive y minus 2z equals to -1. Now we add, right? So you add. This is gone. So -2x, -2x, that is -4x, -2y, positive y, -y equals to 0, -1, -1. This is equation 5. Now you are taking 4 and 5 together. So let me write down 5 here. -4x, -y equals to -1. So this is equation 5. Now you are eliminating any one variable, x or y. We can eliminate y by subtracting. But you have to change sign. Positive -4 change into positive 4x, -y change to positive y. So this y is gone. -2x, positive 2x, positive 2x equals to 1. Sorry, I forgot to change the sign of this -1. It has to be positive, okay? You have to change sign of every term on both sides. +1, +1, +2. Now we divide both sides by 2. Now we know what is x. 2x divided by x, say 2x divided by 2 is x equals to 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we know what is x. Now let's find what is y. And in order to find y, you can substitute your x here. So we have -4 times x is 1 minus y equals to this is -1. -4 times 1, -4 minus y equals to -1. You add 4 on both sides. This is gone. -y equals to +3 divided by -1. Y equals to -3. So you know y. You know x, you know y. We will need to have a g. And to find g, you can substitute your x and y in equation 1, 2, or 3. Doesn't matter. And let me take the equation 1. X plus y minus z equals to 0. Your x is 1, y is -3, minus z equals to 0. 1 minus 3 minus 2 minus g. This is g equals to 0. You add a 2 on both sides. This is gone. minus g equals to positive 2 divided by minus 1. Your g is equals to minus 2. So your g is minus 2. Now you are writing all of these three together. Your x is 1, y is minus 3, g is minus 2. And this, and make sure inside the parentheses, and this is the solution. That's how we get the solution. This is the solution of this system of linear equation. Okay. Do you have a question? And you will have one system of linear equation with a 3 variable. Okay, you will have very similar to this type. So you should know how to solve this equation. Okay, do you have question here?
Would subtracting be the same as multiplying by like a positive one or a negative one?
So you're talking about, so here. Now it depends. Okay, it's not that always you use like 1 or negative 1. It depends like what kind of equation are given to you. Your target is eliminating the variable. Okay, and eliminating means you must have, you just try to have a coefficient with the opposite sign. Like here, see, we had a positive 2z and we had a negative 2z. That was our target, to eliminate g. Okay, you must have the same with the same term with the opposite sign to eliminate. Okay, so that should be your target. So for that, you might need to multiply with any number. It depends what kind of equation is given to you.
Okay.
Yeah, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, does anyone have any question? I think we are done now. This is all you need to practice for your exam too. So does anyone have any question for me? So I'll stay like 9 more minutes if any one of you need help. Okay, if not, you are free to leave. But if you have any question, please let me know. You can ask me any question today, but during the exam time, I won't be there. Again, I have recorded this video and I will try to upload it today. If not, you will have the access of your video by tomorrow morning.
I do have a question. It's a little off of
Okay.
of what we're doing right now, but I can't figure out how to do the word problem 75 on exercise 5.1. I just can't figure out how to put it into the form to solve the equation.
Okay, you
I know
said
it's a little off, but
from your section 5.1.
yeah,
Okay,
question
5.1 is
75 on
okay, that's the system of linear equation. Yeah, I can help you, but that won't be a part of the review. Okay, but since
yeah, maybe later
okay,
on or something.
but so you have one real application, real life problems based on section 2.1. Okay, so you don't have any real life problem based on section 5.1 and 5.2. Okay, but if you still
Okay.
want to do now, I can help you.
No, I mean, I just don't understand how to put it in the form. I can figure out after I figure out how to put it in the form. I don't know if I'm
Okay,
missing
so
something.
let me see and just try to find the question. So you said section 5.175, right? Okay, just give me a second. Did you say 75, right? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, so that word problem for ticket pricing.
Okay, I found the question. Okay, the tickets for a state high school basketball championship game Let me stop recording this one. Okay, this is not a part of review. Okay, just give me a second.